Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Hey, Steve Butala here for Land Academy. Welcome to our Cash Flow from Land show. In this episode, Jill and I discuss how to all but guarantee your success in land flipping, and it shouldn't be any surprise by now at all. It's all in the numbers.
Did you say did you say up the numbers?
No, I know that's one of your favorite sayings. It's all, run the numbers. It's in the numbers. You got to do the numbers.
I was thinking this was about upping your numbers. I was going to go on a whole different dating tangent on this one. Do you remember that? Do you remember when my brother gave me that advice?
What? No,
Okay.
I think I'm vaguely recalling.
Okay.
I think it involves date a lot of men and choose the one you want.
Yeah, up your numbers. So years ago, when I had got out of a relationship and I was single, I hadn't dated in a while, my brother said, I'm going to do you a big favor. Sat me down, gave me a nice brother-sister chat saying, here's what you need to do. Like, all right, you need to learn to date like a man. Like, that's exactly what he said. You've got to date like a man. I'm like, okay, great. What do I got to do? He's like, you got to up your numbers. I'm like, what? I didn't quite get that. And
we're going to put our financial success on hold while Jill shares her dating stories with us.
Okay. We'll get to the real stuff in a second.
Spend a couple hours on this. This success thing, that can wait.
Hey, well, it's important being successful. Hey, this applies to everything, Stephen.
No, I know it does. Plus, it's way more fun to talk about you dating anyway than land and stuff.
Turns out he was 100% correct. And the point is, if you up your numbers, you have more to choose from. Don't get hung up on one guy or one deal. I'll bring it back in.
Oh, that's good.
And have several deals to choose from. And then you narrow it down. I'm saying deals like men. And then you narrow it down from there. And it's a beautiful thing. And I went on to teach all of my girlfriends because they were, incredibly interested in how successful I was with this. And so I taught every girl, don't get hung up on one guy or one piece of property because it's kind of the same thing. Have a lot to choose from, pick the best one. So
how many guys does it take?
Oh, I don't know, 10 or 20.
I honestly thought if you were a man, you'd have said 100.
What? Well, again, we had this on the last show. We talk about that it's harder to find a good woman than a good man?
We talked about your bad taste in men.
Well, there's that. That's why I'd up my numbers. So back to the numbers. What did you really mean by that, Stephen?
So how can I follow what you just said? I'm going to talk about like a lecturer, all this boring stuff about how to sing. Yeah, exactly. That's what everyone's going to hear.
You just put everyone to sleep.
Everyone's dreaming of Jill dating.
Jill's fun. Stephen's boring. Yeah. Just kidding.
That's exactly what it is.
It's not true.
And I'm happy in that. I'm comfortable in this situation.
It's not true. You are awesome. You are fun. And I know you have a great way to explain this.
All right. So in investment banking, in real estate, anybody who's real successful, one of the first things they discuss is deal flow. So anybody who buys apartment buildings or vacant land like us, or houses, or let's say they buy companies. So I've been involved in these industries since my whole professional career. And the number one thing that everybody starts with, that gets talked about at cocktail parties and their corporate espionage, is deal flow. You have to look at a ton of properties before you buy one. And I think this is a very typical rookie mistake where someone wants to get into real estate and they call their realtor sister-in-law, or they get access somehow to the MLS in the town that they want to buy a house, and they look at 4 deals and they choose the one that they think is going to work the best. And that is maybe the fatal mistake. You have to, what Jill says, cut up your numbers. So what we teach in the simplest terms is send out a ton of offers, well-planned direct mail offers to people who own property. In our case, it's vacant land. You can do it with apartment buildings or houses or whatever. And you look at what comes back. Some people will call you back and say, I want to do the deal right away. Some people will say you're crazy. A lot of people just sign it and send it back and you do a deal.
Are you sending out 4 offers, or how many offers are you sending?
Thank you very much. Hey, this could be a super short podcast. No, look, if you send 5 million letters out, and I've done that, you're going to get whatever your percentages are. And if you're choosing the right people to send these to, which we also teach, you're going to get an X percent back. So, hey, it's a numbers game. Send a ton of stuff out. You're going to get a ton back. You want to buy one house, send 1,000 letters out, houses, and that's houses numbers. Right. Those are good numbers, actually. If you want to buy 7 houses, send 7,000 out. With land, our success percentages are way higher. So great. Now you bought a bunch of cheap property. How do you guarantee your success that you sell it, Jill?
Works the same way. Don't just put it on one website. Up your numbers. I mean, trust your numbers. Have a system and advertise it many different places. Don't think that one property's fit for this or fit for that. Make it easy on yourself. Get it out there and reach. We haven't used that word in a while, and that's a big word for us. I've been
typing it into Success Plan almost daily.
Okay. So reach is the key. Reaching as far as reaching the right sellers, and reach as far as reaching the right buyers who are going to want to buy your thing. And the only way you're going to reach them is if they know you have something to sell. I mean, that's one of the things that I think people I hear struggling with a little bit. I don't have anybody. Well, have you offered it? Well, no. Well, then how are you going to sell it if no one knows that you have something to sell? You know, just putting it on your website and trusting that the right person's going to organically find it is often not enough. You need to have it advertised and out there and drive people to your website. And then you will reach the right people.
Every once in a while, I get a question like this. It goes like this: man, I'm ready to send a mailer out, and I'm so afraid to pull a trigger because what if I don't have the success that you guys have? What if I send all these letters out and nothing comes back at all? What if I'm afraid? Or worse, they say, I just sent out a 1,500 letter mailer, and I'm going to answer all these my own questions in a second here. What if I sent out a 1,500 unit mailer, and 3 weeks have gone by, and I have not even heard one. All I've gotten back is 3 people called me back and said that you're crazy to offer this small amount of product. I'm going to fail. Here's my answer. What happened is you didn't send it to the right people, and you didn't do what we microscopically teach in our cash flow from land program about choosing the right area to send these mailers in, checking to see if there's properties that are other like-kind properties on the internet that are selling there for what prices, and there's a several-step process that you need to go through to identify where this program works, and it's the same thing with houses. I'm going to give you a huge hint. If you send letters out for a very small amount of money to purchase any product type, and that product, any real estate product type, and that product type, for whatever reason you choose to send it to product owners of properties where there's mortgages or debt, you will probably fail. The whole key to success, and there's a million little moving parts here, is sending out mailers, a lot of mailers to people who own property where they're showing all the signs of not wanting to own it anymore. Right. And if they have to check with the bank and it's over leveraged, or you're just kind of wasting the price of a postage stamp and I told you this is more boring than your dating thing.
I'm sorry, you woke me up.
The same thing on the sales side.
See my eyes glazing over there for a second.
Let me get through this lecture piece, and then we can talk about your sex life. So, and the same thing with the sales piece. There's only 2 reasons that any property doesn't sell. 2 simple reasons. 1, you're not reaching the right people, and it's usually that. Or 2, it's not priced right.
I agree.
So there's not a lot of mystery in this stuff.
Well, I like what you said about moving parts, because that's true. It's not hard. It's not rocket science, but you got to do it right. You've got to know how to find the right property and isolate the right people, offer the right price with the right letter, all of those things. And I understand sometimes people have some trial and error, but if you follow us, it's going to be really, really easy. And that's the whole point of us. Let us save you. Yeah, We've done all the trial and error. We know the right letters. We know what to send and what doesn't work. We know the areas and how to pick them.
Yeah, because I've done it wrong.
Right. So we can save you. And you can really sit down and very quickly determine, all right, for every 1,000 letters, I'm going to get this number of calls, and then I'm going to get this number of offers to review, and then I'm going to get, this number that I'm going to want to make an offer on, and I'm going to close this many. And then you can quickly go, I got this. Now I'm going to double it, triple it, whatever I want. Or, I was overwhelmed. Yeah. I'm going to cut it by half next time, and I'm going to do it this way, kind of thing. There you go. And it works with everything.
You know what the antithesis of trusting the numbers and playing the numbers is?
I feel a lot of big words on this time. You have used antithesis. Corporate espionage and antithesis. What have you been reading? Are you reading the Wall Street Journal again? What am I doing?
Gosh, no. I gave that up a lot of years ago.
Okay.
You know what? You want to know how to fail? And I'm going to push one of Jill's buttons right now. How to fail in real estate. Drive for dollars.
Oh,
Jill, explain for the 6 people on the planet who don't know what Drive for Dollars is and how to wreck your real estate career overnight.
Don't lease a car and don't drive for dollars.
Explain to us what driving for dollars is and why it's just the most ridiculous. And it's so taught. It's everywhere on the internet about all these great stories about driving for dollars. Wow. I don't understand that.
I have 8 hours.
Let's drive around Alaska and look for a property.
I have 8 hours and it's Tuesday. I'm going to get in my car. Let me give you 2 examples. Here's what I think is the wrong way and then what I think is the right way. Gosh, I got 8 hours to spend on Tuesday. I'm going to put 10 business cards in my pocket because I've heard people do this exact thing.
You don't get cynical too often, but I love it.
Wow, this is one of the ones that really rubs me the wrong way. Okay, I have heard people do this verbatim. 10 business cards in my pocket. I'm going to drive this area. This is the neighborhood.
Verbatim's kind of a big word.
It is a big word. I know this area very well. I know the market. I know what people typically buy for. I know what they sell for. I'm just now looking for the right properties. Okay. So I'm going to go and knock on doors. I'm going to see what I find. Ooh, that one looks vacant. Okay, I'm writing down the address. I'm going to do all this stuff. I'm going to try to meet people that maybe they might want to sell. I don't know. My goal is to hand out my 10 business cards. I better pack a lunch because this is an all-day thing. So, and fill up the gas tank. You know, there's another expense.
Well said.
And I'm just canvassing this area, hoping to stumble across a deal, hoping and praying. And if I'm lucky, I've heard people say that they were successful because they handed out all those 10 business cards and they think those people are going to save them and call them. They probably, it could have just gone in the trash. They don't know.
So let's say it all went right. What'd you buy?
Nothing. Well, I don't know because
you bought a house.
Yeah,
because you did everything right and you got lucky and the stars were aligned.
But it still took a long time. And by the way, it took it doesn't usually happen overnight like that.
Go ahead.
Okay. However, maybe I won a review. Maybe I got really lucky. And after a week of that, one guy called me back and might be interested. It might be something I want. and might not. Versus, gosh, that same 8 hours, I could have spent half that time and I could have isolated that same neighborhood, that same square mile, whatever it is, that zip code, if you will, or that county, kind of how we do it, and isolated the exact size, the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, this price range, no debt, no mortgage, gosh, behind on the taxes, could be vacant. I've got a list of 500 or 1,000 here. I'm going to blast them all with a beautiful letter and let them call me. So, that took 4 hours.
It's like foreplay when you talk like that.
Thank you. And by the way, I didn't have to go anywhere and I didn't have to pack a lunch.
Yeah, so you let the data do all the work.
Yep.
You dream it up. So let's just dream it up. Forget about reality. Let's have a little daydream together. I only want to buy 40-acre properties in southeastern California that have no debt, have a completely uninterested owner. They don't want to own the property any longer. I can't have any back taxes. It has to have access. Drive right up to it. I don't want the side of a mountain. And on and on and on and on. And so you scrub the data down. You take the whole data set of 40-acre properties in one of the counties there, and you scrub it down, 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 and you end up with, let's say, I'm using just a fictitious number, 1,500 properties.
Perfect.
You send a mailer to all of them. Now it's super targeted. And the one that you want to buy or the 6 that you want to buy, they call you back.
Mm-hmm. And the best part is...
never left your desk.
That's it.
And it cost the price of a stamp.
Uh-huh.
So $500 or $600 to send the whole county out.
Right.
And then now you're buying 2 or 3 properties for a ridiculously small amount. Oh, I forgot about price. Let's say you only want to spend $4,000 on a 40-acre property. And you know it's $4,000 because you checked, and all the other properties that are listed for sale in that county or that area are selling for $12,000. So you already know how much it's going to sell for. Mm-hmm. You can't lose.
Right.
You got to trust the numbers.
You brought up a good point. That cost me, maybe $500 to get the data, do the letters, all of that stuff. Me spending a whole day on my time is worth a whole lot more than $500. Right. That's a whole nother thing that I didn't even think about, and that's a really important fact. So thank you, Stephen.
Want to do it with houses? Pick an area, same exact thing. I only want 1,200 square feet. I only want them to be built after 1983.
3-bedroom, 2-bath?
Yeah, 3-2, excellent. And they cannot have a mortgage on it because their hands are tied on how much they're going to pay. Only the people with no mortgages and any product type have flexibility in your crazy lowball pricing, which is what we teach.
Right.
So great. Now the numbers are even better in houses.
Right.
And I'm going to don't send a letter asking someone you want to talk, call me back and let's talk about it. Send them a purchase agreement or a letter of intent that says the price right on there.
Right.
I want to buy your house for $39,000. If this is too low of a price, I'm sorry to have wasted your time. Please shred this letter.
Right. Or we can talk about it. Back. And if they call you back, they're interested in no matter what, we can talk about it.
Let me finish this thought real quick. So you send that mailer out, and versus driving for dollars, now you've reached, 2,000 people in that 8-hour period? Instead of the 11, houses that you drove by that are boarded up that might have some potential. Hey, you're going to reach those 11 people anyway because of your mailer. Mm-hmm. So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're going to reach more because it was one block over. Who knew? It's just a better thing all around. My other thing is, I don't know anyone in real estate that does not agree with this. But nowadays, by the time it reaches the MLS, it's too late. If you're looking for a deal like this,
hands down.
MLS is retail pricing. We don't want retail pricing in our world.
Yeah, you know what I say is someone got there before you. So, and don't cry about it over spilled milk or what is the sour grapes thing? Hey, somebody got there before you. Some agent got there before you. Some whatever, or whatever happened. Just get past it. Mm-hmm. You want to talk to owners where no one's got to them yet,
right?
And make them friends like Jill does.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So we do all this stuff like we teach in our program. Like the title says, it's all but guaranteeing your success. Mm-hmm. People that don't have success at this, and I'm not here to fib at all. There are certain people who buy our program, they don't put the time in, or they they learn half of it and execute it, and it's half done, and then they say, just what the heck? And it's not, it's not a lot of people. It's only a few people that the vast majority, when they follow the program, have a tremendous amount of success. It's because they didn't listen to what we talked about, or they missed a glaring point, like they sent letters to people who have mortgages.
I think it's just life gets in the way. I think more people aren't doing this because they let life get in the way.
Right.
There's a lot of people that are like that about everything.
Yeah, and I've seen people, this is a mistake I've seen, not very often, where they send out a 100-unit mailer. They do everything right, but they only send 50 letters out or 100 letters out because they just want to kind of see what happens. That's a great way to really be discouraged.
Right. You need to send a 3,000. Yeah. I would say, my first mailer, I would target 3,000. I think that's a great number.
Up
3 to
numbers,
5. Start with a good list of 5,000. You scrub it down to 3, with real valuable, good data, and then you let it go.
That's right.
So it's great. And the beauty of our business is also I could do one here in California. I can do one in Nevada.
Yep.
I can do one whatever. I can have them all running at the same time. Florida.
Land is land.
You know, it is. I don't have to be running out looking at it. What kind of shape is it in? You know, that's the thing too. I
can honestly say this. I have never sent a mailer out ever and not purchased a property.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure that's true.
I'm knocking on the wood.
Well, what's funny is we haven't talked about this in a while, but once you send that mailer out, you're initially going to get some good, usually if you do it all right, follow our steps, you're going to get some awesome low-hanging fruit quickly.
Right.
And our members have tested that and proven that. I love seeing their success stories. Counties that we hadn't really worked with before.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Let me give you a real live recent example in the success plan with the Land Academy member. They chose, I'm not going to name the county or the person, but they chose a county on their own. And like we teach in the program, they sent mailers out to every 5-acre property in the county. They got an awesome response and bought a ton of property and sold it and staring at a pile of money. And so they decided maybe I'm not done in that county. So when you send a mailer out to 5.00 from 5.00 acres, that leaves a lot of other property in that same county. You can send it to 5.01 to 6.92. Mm-hmm. So, and you're going to have this, now you've already tested it. And it's like your own little secret.
Exactly.
And he did that. And he's killing it.
Exactly. Well, that was what's so interesting is the low-hanging fruit that you get back immediately. Well, you have a version of that from these letters. What you can expect is that. And then don't discount it. It could be a year down the road that you're going to still get something. You're going to get some residual great transactions from those old letters if you didn't write the first time, like we do all the time.
We got 2 40-acre properties in yesterday from a mailer that we did 10 years ago.
Yep. 2007.
So, yeah, when you send the mailer out like we instruct, which is it's not a postcard or a threatening foreclosure. Right. It's a well thought out, intelligent, respectful purchase agreement with a cover letter that says you're showing the signs that you don't want this. Give us a call. We're willing to close the deal pretty quickly for X amount. That letter gets put into a folder right next to the deed. It doesn't get thrown away like shiny colored letters or postcards or whatever,
or the threatening weird things.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the same works for on the sell side. You know, my personal feeling is that purchase price and good acquisitions, that solves all sales issues. If you have the cheapest property for sale in a market, you're going to sell it. So there's no issue there. But on the off chance that, and again, this has never happened to me, but on the off chance that you get stuck with some property, maybe you made a rookie mistake. It happens to everybody. It's you just have to contact more people. Mm-hmm. And the key to sales and trusting the numbers in sales is you got to contact everybody that owns property or represents property in the area, and you will sell it.
Yep. Don't get hung up. That's another thing, like you just said. Oh yeah, what if you made a mistake and you overpaid for one? All right, and you have to do something, and you can. Don't get hung up on it. Move on. It's a numbers game. So have you ever lost money on a property?
Yeah, I have.
Thank you.
We're approaching 16,000 deals right now, and somebody else asked me that like 4 months ago, and I went back in the database and looked, and there's like 6 properties in red there, and it was all because it was right at when the whole housing market fell off the cliff, and we just we were liquidating property, but 6 for 16,000 or whatever the number is, less than 10, let's say.
Well, let me ask you this,
and I didn't have to sell them.
Based on your numbers, was it detrimental to the company at all? That's my point.
What happened is
so what?
The market's changed, and we're all just living. We just
living large.
We listed property. Yeah, we did exactly.
There were yachts.
We were paying. Yes.
Anyway,
that's a different topic. But God, that was crazy. But anyway, yeah, there's a few properties. I should have terminated the deals, but it doesn't matter.
What Dave Ramsey would say about you.
I know you would call me names.
But yeah, so that was my whole point. It doesn't matter because your numbers were so great. Even if one got goofed up, so what? These other 4 saved it.
Right.
And who cares? Move on. Now we know we won't do that again. So, problem solved.
Let's go buy some property. Hey, do you think we're giving away, and I say this half jokingly, are we giving away just too much information? Are we just like disclosing our whole business model?
I'm not sure. Tell me, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could spend a couple of years listening to the millions of minutes of, if you have nothing else to do, listen to everything, read everything, and take 2 years and deconstruct it, and don't buy the package. Do not buy the package.
Spend 4 years.
And then
taking meticulous notes about every last little thing we say, including our dating habits.
And then, put it all together and do it, and it'd probably be successful. Or you could just buy the package.
Or drive for dollars.
Program. And then, in the 2 or 4 years that you've spent doing all that, you could be done financially already.
I have to say, Stephen, I think even after that 4 years, there might be some details they might be missing. I'm not too worried.
Like what? Like what do you think's in the program that's so special that are we not disclosing anything in the program? I say no. I think we're probably talking about everything.
You're using a triple, quadruple negative there. Are we not sharing not what we want to not say? No. I got confused there.
Otherwise known as a run-on sentence, which is awesome in radio.
Totally.
Producers love run-on sentences.
Your producer's going to love this. Good thing this is the after show and not the real show, because nobody listens to this.
That's right.
So, do I think anything is missing from the program? I do not think anything is missing from the program. Do I think that we could explain it all perfectly and everything in a podcast? And the answer is no.
Yeah, I agree. You know why? Because I think it needs to be studied. I don't think it's take a pill. You're going to wake up the next morning and know how to do it, and you don't have to do any work. And you just do a quick mailer and watch the money come dropping out of your bedroom ceiling.
Totally. Oh yeah, I got this. Do you know, it's funny you say that, because every person then, which is pretty much every person.
Hey, there's your run-on sentence. I'm saved.
Everyone who's bought our program that takes a moment to reach out to me, which I absolutely love. It's not, oh, hey, I got this. It's, I'm going over this in detail. Okay, I'm going to reread that. I'm going to reread this. Wow, what great information. It's never, this is over my head. It's, wow, thank you for all of the tips and the tricks and everything. So.
Questions I get. On successplant.com, we have a forum for each chapter of the program. And the questions that I'm constantly being, or the comments that I get are about chapter 5, which is the chapter where, and I remember when we were producing this, we toiled it and had to redo it because I actually do a mailer. I mean, I do it from start to finish. I do an actual mailer, back and forth in the computer and then out of the computer and explaining all the way through. So it ended up taking a little bit longer than it took a lot longer. I thought the chapter 5 took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but man, the comments I get are really positive. Like, boy, you didn't leave anything out.
Correct.
And,
thank you.
And like we talked about in the regular show here, scrub for this, scrub for this, scrub for this. Make sure that you leave this in and absolutely take this out. Like take out industrial property. You know what? There's a lot of stuff in that program that we don't talk about from a detail standpoint on these podcasts.
There's no one would listen because they'd fall asleep. Just kidding.
No, it's true.
You gotta be on the radio when you're driving to work, is one thing. This is a really beneficial, no stones left unturned program.
Right.
And you, follow our stuff and you will be successful. And you can see it happening every day in Success Plant.
We just I answered my own question. It's a good little after talk. There's no way we could talk about all this stuff. We're going to leave little details out that are pretty important. Join us in the next episode where we talk about land versus rental houses. Which one's more profitable and which one's easier?
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.